everybody. My name is Lisa Keck, and I'm the onboarding manager at CampLife. I've been with CampLife for 7 years. 5 of those years, I worked as a customer success coach, and the last 2 years, I've been building parks into our system. I love what I do and completely believe in what CampLife does. My goal as I onboard a park is to make that transition as smooth as possible for the park. When you're deciding on a new reservation system, you also want to make sure that you have a team of people behind you. It's not just about getting the basic information about your park into a new system. Things come up, you have questions. You want to make sure you have a team of people to help answer those questions, to help guide you, and to help teach you how to use your new system. CampLife prides itself on partnering with parks to help you become even more successful. Let's talk about some of the things you should do while building your park into a new system to help you become the best possible park. Today, I'm going to cover 3 topic areas: getting set up to make money, closing on your reservations, and avoiding go-live drama. Here are 9 tips to help you make more money from the get-go. Let's talk about getting set up to make money. Your credit card processing can take 1 to 4 weeks to set up, depending on the processor you choose. Credit card processing goes through underwriting, which is an approval process. There are many processors to choose from. Review the offered rates based on your transaction levels and which are compatible with your chosen reservation software. Get this started as soon as you begin park setup. If you use a separate point of sale system for your store, you may need to have 2 separate processors. CampLife has an all-in-one system that makes it easy for you to use the same processor for reservations and your point of sale. Let's talk about your rates. There are very few parks that set up 2 years worth of rates as they go through the setup process. Now, if you have fairly straightforward rates that don't change throughout the year, this may not be an issue. However, if you split your rates into peak and non-peak seasons, or maybe you have spring rates, summer rates, and fall rates, you should set up 2 years worth of rates. The benefits of this are, if you begin taking reservations in advance, you're able to start doing that. You will have a learning curve with any new system, so setting up rates for an extended period of time gives you the time you need to gain a better understanding of your new system. While we discuss rates, let's talk about adjusting your pricing. Do you watch for occupancy trends? Do you watch to see when your park is at its peak occupancy? How about when the park is at its lowest occupancy? Your rates can be adjusted to take advantage of these trends. The way that you can set your rates up to account for these trends is to create peak rates or seasonal rates, such as spring, summer, and fall. One of the awesome features of CampLife is dynamic pricing. This allows the system to do the work for you for high volume times at your park. Dynamic pricing allows you to choose at what occupancy level you want to raise the price. For example, let's assume your nightly rate is $50. As the park becomes 70% full, the rate jumps to $60. As the park hits 80% full, the rate jumps to $70. You decide at what occupancy level and at what price level you want this system to increase for you. Many camps do not want to feel like they're nickel and diming their guests by fluctuating prices. You should not look at it this way. It is a normal business practice for prices to fluctuate during peak times. Dynamic pricing makes you money, and it is getting your inventory sold. It is getting value out of your property as you should. You could also run a promo during peak seasons that if a guest books now, they save on increased rates later on. If you're paying attention to your low occupancy timeframes, you could also run a promo to bring guests in during that time. As we discuss rates, you should have holiday rates. You should also think about nightly minimums during the holiday timeframes. For example, on Memorial Weekend, you should consider an increased holiday rate and require a 3-night minimum. These are normal practices in the travel industry. If this is something new to you, talk to your fellow campgrounds and discover what they're doing. I think you will be surprised by what others may be doing. Another thing you want to make sure that is set up in your new reservation system is your accounting. You are either accrual or cash-based accounting. Make sure your account references are set up and that your revenue is mapped out in your new reservation system. It is difficult to clean that up retroactively. Now let's talk about closing on your reservations. One of the most valuable things that you can do during setup is setting up media for your park. Everywhere that you can put that in the system, add it. Put that in there and show your park off to your guest. A guest wants to envision themselves at your park and in their site and plan their activities. If you're like me, I want to show pictures to my children and get them excited about the trip that we're going to take. Keep in mind that a guest also wants to see your park, not just your sites. Everywhere it's possible to add media in your new system, do it. Take advantage of it and use it to your benefit to promote you and what makes you, you. There are different kinds of media that you should be able to add in your new reservation system. You want to take full advantage of that and add all the images possible. Most parks are going to add one image right here. You want to add as many as you can. As many as you are allowed, fill that up. What a guest sees is this. They get to see overall pictures of your park. Use that to your benefit and show off your park. Also, when setting up media, make sure you're taking advantage of setting up media of your sites. In CampLife, super easy to do. Most parks will only set up one picture. Set up as many pictures as you can. You can even set up video of your site. And I know that takes time to do that, but you want to take advantage of everything you can to promote your park. Your guests are looking for this information. As you set up media of a site, this is what it's going to look like for your guest. They're going to see all the pictures that you put out there for this site when they are online making a reservation. Another thing that you want to do as you're going through the setup process is setting up your site description, setting up directions, and the site type that you choose for your site makes a difference. Most parks want to name a site RV site. That's what they want to give the site type as. It's not enough to say it's an RV site. Is it a back-end site? Is it a pull-through site? Give that information to your guest. You also want to add a description. Give the guest as much information as you can. Are there any shade trees? Is it a concrete pad? Is it gravel? How close is it to the restrooms? Or how close is it to some of the amenities that you have at your park? Let them know that. When a guest is online, they are going to see that information. They're going to see all the information you enter as a description underneath the picture that is shown. For the site directions, you want to give your guests the information of how to get to their site. You are your park's expert, but they are not. Even if it's just once you enter the park, take a left and your site is on the right, that gives the guest a level of comfort that they know where they're going. If you're taking advantage of mobile check-in, you definitely want to make sure that you're giving your guest directions to their site. When you have your site set up for mobile check-in, a guest who is most likely checking in with their phone when they get to your park, they're going to have a confirmation. And on that confirmation, they're going to have a button that they are going to check that is going to allow them to check in. So it's important that you have those directions set up because they will see that on their confirmation so that they know where to go. Let's talk about events at your park. Do you host your own events? Do you promote that and show that to your guest? If your software system has an area that you can do that, take advantage of it. promote your park, right? That's what this is all about. If you don't host your own event, you could promote local businesses, or you could promote local activities that are going on. You want to get people excited about coming to your park. In CampLife, we have an area that you can set up events. You could take this area and you could list out your event and just really keep that updated. Or you have the option to embed a Google Calendar here. And it will keep, as you update your Google Calendar, it will update here automatically so that you're not having to do extra work. And what this looks like for the guest is they see your events as they are looking at all the pictures and the descriptions for your park. Now let's talk about testing. Test, do it again, test again until you are sick of testing. You are your park's expert. Testing is where you are going to find the things that need updated before your go live. The things that you should be testing are your rates, your occupancy charges. Did you set up a deposit for your park? What about your cancellation policy? These are all things that you want to test and retest. I cannot stress how much testing makes a difference when you go live. Another great benefit to testing is that you learn the system. It gives you time to ask questions and learn more things. Last but not least, as you move towards the end of any setup in any software system, I would highly recommend attending a training session. It is so valuable to watch somebody that knows the system go through the system and show you things that you may not know yet. Usually through the setup, most parks are focused on getting the basic information set up, such as your rate and your cancellation policy. But you also need to learn the ins and outs of the system. Most systems have shortcuts and multiple ways to do something. If you attend a training session, you're going to learn what those things are. One of the smaller things that people overlook is their efficiency and the steps that it takes to go through your normal day-to-day workflow. There are huge benefits to this, such as saving you time. It can eventually lead to saving you money, but more importantly, it gives you more time to spend with your most valuable asset, your guest. Let me show you some of the shortcuts available in CampLife. As you're making changes to a reservation, you can do this from the grid versus searching for that reservation and having to look that up. You can right-click on a reservation on the grid, and you have many options that you can see. You could add to the invoice. You could edit the reservation. You could cancel the reservation. This is a very quick way to get to something that is going to make you much more efficient in your day-to-day workflow. You can right-click on your sites to the far left. You could look up your reservation list for that site. You could pencil in a reservation. As you can see, there are several options there that you could do as quick shortcuts through the system. Now let's move on to training. You should really consider some or all of your reservation import as a training tool for you or your front desk people. This gives you tons of training in the system. I completely understand that it is much quicker to do an import, but you have to consider, do you have time to slow down before go live? Or are you going to slow down after go live? And what I mean by that is you have time, if you slow down before go live, entering those reservations, that's going to slow you down, but it gives you invaluable experience. If you wait till you go live and then you're in the system, you are going to be much slower because you just have not had that time in the system. Make sure when you're choosing a software system that you also have access to great training tools. You want online help, videos, access to people that can always be there to answer your questions. Customer service is a top priority for CampLife. Besides a focus on daily operations, make sure you're choosing a system that is easy to use. I'm going to show you how to make a reservation in CampLife. As you can see at the top of my screen, I have a new reservation button. You're going to click on that, choose your dates, If you need to pick your equipment and fill that in, you can. You can go up to the site and just use the drop-down menu to find your site. You could key in the site number. You're going to enter in your guest information. We have this park set up to use a referral source. And then you can accept payment and create it all at once. I'm just going to create this one. And I now have created a reservation. I'm going to show you another way to make a reservation in our system, because a lot of parks like their front desk clerks to use this. You can use the map, right? They can overall see the park. And when you plug in your dates, you can easily see what sites are available and what sites are already booked. As you set your park up with any reservation system, make sure you're taking advantage of your onboarding coach and your customer success coaches. They're there to help you. They're there to answer your questions and guide you through the process. It's our job to answer your questions. We're here to make your day-to-day operations the best that it can be. CampLife has won Arvix Supplier of the Year back-to-back in 2019 and 2020. We want to give parks the tools they need to make operations easy and fun. Ask us anything, we'll figure it out. As much as I love CampLife and believe in what we do, you do not have to choose CampLife. But make sure you pick a reservation software system that's there to help you and guide you, especially if you have a specialized or complex setup. If in doubt, ask. CampLife is customizable, so most of the time we can accommodate your complex setup. It may not be as hard as you think, so advocate for your park needs. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope that I have given you some ideas with the things that I have shown you to help set your park up and to help make you money and to help you be the best park that you can be. If you have any questions after this session, please feel free to reach out. You can reach me at lisa@camplife.com, or you can call me at 615-970-6231, and my extension is 113. You can also reach out to our sales at sales@camplife.com. I believe in what we do at CampLife. I love helping parks discover their potential and making life as easy as possible so you can spend more time with your guests. Every park is different. Make sure you're demoing systems and exploring your options and choose the software system that makes you the best park it can be.